This is The Happiness Blueprint, the podcast where we uncover how people build happier lives.
Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the Happiness Blueprint podcast. I'm here with two new friends, so please introduce yourself and your role on campus.
Hi, I'm Griffin. I'm a member of the Salve men's lacrosse team, member of the SAC and the American Marketing Association Club.
And the Surf Rider.
And the Salve Surf Rider Club.
Plug that. Hi, how's it going? I'm Ryan Chalfie. I'm also a member of the men's lacrosse team. I'm a junior here. I'm a marketing major.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. What have you been through a lot of sessions today?
Yeah, I think I've done 3 or 4 by now.
Beautiful. What's one thing you took away from some of them? What's something that you gained? I think there's a lot of opportunity to grow ourselves here and get better and learn more about marketing or business or managing a team here. What did you learn today?
I think the biggest takeaway I learned today was just kind of putting yourself out there and starting to build relationships. A lot of networking doesn't start from going to the events and whatnot. It starts from just putting a smile on your face, shaking someone's hand that you wouldn't usually shake, just making the introduction.
I think that's tough. I think I played soccer growing up. I played a little bit of lacrosse, and not as well as you guys, it seems like. But I think it's tough coming from sports where it's like the introductions are made because you're teammates, right? Like there is this thing like you're not taught to go outside of your circle because your circle's a great place here. Has it been tough to kind of learn as a business major to network out and get outside of your circle?
Yeah, I would say that as a business major, you do meet a lot of the same people through classes and whatnot. I think a way that's helped is getting involved on campus, getting involved in other clubs outside of lacrosse and business to kind of meet a different variety of people. And to circle back on that other question, the events today, I learned a lot that like people have very interesting stories, and just taking a second to listen to hear what they have to talk about, you can learn a lot about someone and view different perspectives that can provide some helpful insight to your everyday life.
Definitely. It's so important to be in tune to the people around us, and it's always been caught in our own world. And I think to some degree we all are, right? We're all worried about like, what are people thinking about me? And it's like, those people aren't thinking about you. They're all thinking about, they're all doing the same thing that we're doing, trying to figure it out here. Beautiful. I think it's also an important like business lesson here is to go out and like hear what people need. Like instead of trying to sell them something that they might not need, it's listening like, what do you actually need? How can I actually provide value to you? Is that something you're hoping to do going forward here? Is like business and sales, is that kind of where y'all are falling?
Yeah, 100%. Something in the marketing and events realm.
Cool. Have you done anything with that in the past?
So I actually started a nonprofit 8 years ago.
Incredible.
That is a community-based effort. We privately fundraised over $400,000 to build a concrete skate park to give back to the to donate back to the town upon fruition.
That's unbelievable. Good for you.
Thank you.
That's such a cool, I was expecting a lemonade stand. You went on to raise $500,000, just about $500,000. Awesome. Sorry, that's a tough act to follow, but have you got business experience in your past that kind of leads to today?
Yeah, so I'm studying marketing as well. I hope to pursue that in the future, work for sort of a lifestyle outdoors brand. I've worked at a surf shop for the past 5 years in my hometown. I did some marketing for them past summer, social media, website, engagement, that kind of thing. And then here at Salve, I started the Salve Surf Rider Club, which is a nonprofit foundation as well that focuses on ocean protection and conservation. So I've had some experience trying to coordinate events, market the club itself to get people to join. So
it's beautiful to both have nonprofit backgrounds. That feels like you're way ahead of the curve for being college students and already having some experience in business. What motivated the founding of the nonprofits for each of you?
I think at its core was just giving back to the community. When we started the project, we were young, 13-year-old middle schoolers just trying to learn how to skateboard and realizing that there's no safe place in the community for us to do this. So the biggest driving factor was this is something our community needs and has the market for. And now we just had to figure out how to sell the vision.
And how did you raise $500,000 as a 13-year-old?
Trial and error.
Okay.
Lots of private, small fundraisers and large scale donors, small donors. Every penny counts. I have the first dollar that we ever were donated as a 501c3 framed in my bedroom.
That's awesome.
As just a homage to how far we've gone.
That's awesome. And it must be so cool to like, drive past the skate park and see the kids enjoying it and like knowing that you're contributing to so many people's happiness and like the parental happiness where they can be happy bringing their kid to a safe place. And it seems like a win-win for everyone involved here.
We're actually looking to break ground this spring.
Awesome. Okay.
Grand opening at the end of the summer.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm a little ahead of the game here, but we're getting there. We're moving that direction.
8 years wasn't long enough. We decided to push on to 9.
Gotta make it count. Gotta make every good year count. Awesome. What about your nonprofit? What motivated you to start it?
So the Surf Rider Foundation exists nationwide. So this is kind of like an extension of that at Salve. But I got involved in my hometown. One of my dad's friends was the president of the New Hampshire chapter. And past summer, I did some marketing for them to kind of expand my experience and get involved with the cause that I'm passionate about. Because myself, I'm a surfer, so I've grown up loving the ocean, spending time at the beach. So giving back, protecting that area that we enjoy is something that was important to me. And they brought up the idea of getting involved in Rhode Island or starting a club at Salve. And I was like, that sounds awesome. Sounds like a great experience. I would love to create a community here that could hopefully contribute to having a positive impact in the Newport community. And that's kind of how things went. And here we are.
That's awesome. It's also both of y'all are like pioneering better for people. I think that's always the goal here is to like, yeah, create something that empowers you, lifts people up. But it sounds like both of y'all in very different ways, like a skate park and the ocean are two very different things, but they're both so important to communities, to people, to, I guess, the planet. It's so important to empower people in that way. How has it made y'all feel to like see these things actualize and like see the difference you're being able to make and like see the results of your efforts?
I think it's been pretty fulfilling, super inspiring. You see just the next generation kind of taking on and seeing our project and feeling inspired to go out there and do something themselves and get involved in the community. And especially in this age of everyone's on their phones and kind of isolated within social media and they all feel connected, but no one really is. I think in this next generation, what's really going to separate the different type, like just different people is how well they can integrate themselves into their own community and how well they can inspire others to do the same.
I think you're right. I think it's brilliant. I think you're right that it's we feel very connected, and I don't know if it's genuine. I don't know if it's real. I don't know how much that connection really empowers us day to day. So I think you're right to search for it in like in person here. I think it's also powerful that both of y'all have like built something and found success from it. I think that is the key to every like business venture I've ever heard of. Is like the first one, it sounds like for both of y'all went a lot better than it does for most people, but usually it takes a couple tries to get it. And I think the confidence of seeing something grow from a seed to a tree and seeing when Skatepark does break ground with the ocean, not the ocean saved. I know it's not a realistic goal, but like you will see your impact, or you will, I don't know, go out and clean some part of it, or whatever the measurable return of the investment of time is. I think it's beautiful to see those things come together. I think that's like such an empowering thing going forward to see like, if I put the time into this thing, it will grow. And I think, I assume lacrosse is a similar thing for both of y'all. Like you put in the time from being 6 years old to now being in college, but at 6, you didn't appreciate how much practice and time you're putting in. You were just having fun. And it's not until you're an adult that you can really appreciate like, oh, it takes these times and effort. I think it's a beautiful lesson to give people. How would you empower, or what advice do you have for like other people who are trying to do the same thing, where they have a passion, they're trying to find a way to use that passion to better their community, better their people, kind of like what you guys have done? How would you empower other people to find the same success that you have found?
I would say just try. Like if you have an idea, you think it's stupid or it might not work, I mean, just give it a try and see what happens. People mess up all the time. People make mistakes all the time. So just give it an effort. And even if you fail, it's okay. Try again. Try again with something else until it works.
That is the exact key to everything. And it's so unglamorous, right? It seems like we should be like, no, let's make the perfect plan so we can't fail. And it's like, that's not real. Yeah. No one has ever done something and not failed. Those two things are unfortunately synonymous with each other, or not synonymous, intertwined with each other. And that stinks. That's painful. No one likes failing. No one likes the thing not going to plan, but it's real. So I think you're right that, yeah, showing up and giving it a go is the best way. And then course correct. When it doesn't go to plan, figure out how to make it go to the plan. Awesome. Yeah. How would you empower people to have the same success?
Yeah. On the same wave, I would say just taking that first step, whether it's something small, just saying it out loud or writing it down in your notebook, and doing something that builds on that, that builds on that, that builds on that. And eventually it starts to snowball. Like my project started off as an infomercial website, like just this joke idea. We're going to throw it away. And that started the brainstorm, just coming up with an idea, sitting around with my friends saying, what could we do that would make this place slightly better? And it just, everything snowballs, everything adds on itself. Every day counts, and just don't take advantage of what you got.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's also smart to,
Yeah, can I add on to that?
Please.
I'd like to say that it seems like when you have an idea or you want to create something that you have to do everything at once, and that it's this like big grand thing. You have to put all these pieces together right away. Usually it takes so much more time than you think. Like I thought I was going to have the club started last semester at the start of the year. We could do a beach cleanup or whatnot last semester. And we just had our first meeting in February. Like it took a long time to get all the pieces rolling, to put everything together. And I'm sure the skate park's taken 8 years and it's still not built yet. So usually things take a lot more time than you think, and it's not usually as stressful as you think. You kind of roll with the motions as it happens.
This episode of the Happiness Blueprint podcast is brought to you by Vibarks. Goals, budgets, and KPIs can tell you what happened, but they don't tell you how people felt while doing the work. Happiness is the most important metric of all, and it needs a system. Vibarks is that system for prioritizing your mental health and tracking emotional metrics for individuals, teams, and even projects. Users submit a weekly 2-minute check-in online or in the app for metrics like happiness, stress, and utilization. Then, Vibarks processes that data into quantified metrics that help spot patterns, celebrate wins, and encourage support where needed. Personally, I loved using Vibarks with my team at GBM6. It felt like such a great way to check in with myself and make sure I'm hitting both my professional and my personal goals. I especially love that it asks me for 3 things that I'm happy about every week. During busy season, I find that things can feel a little chaotic and stressful, so this has felt like a really great tool to reframe my focus and make sure I'm aware of how many great things are happening around me, even in the most stressful moments. Vibarks is free forever for individuals, .edu teams, and .org teams. All other organizations can start with a 60-day free trial and then pay just $5 per user per month to build a healthier, happier, and more engaged workplace. Check out the link in our description to get started on your own journey towards a happier personal and professional life. Thank you to Vibarks for sponsoring today's episode. All right, back to the show. And I think I've also almost come to love that, like, yeah, this is going to fail. Like, I'm going to have to audible and figure out a new solution. That's kind of fun to be like, all right, we thought this was the plan and this is no longer viable. So now how do we audible? And I've kind of come to enjoy that problem solving process of like, this isn't the road I thought I was going down, but how do we make this road profitable? Or not necessarily financially profitable, but like emotionally profitable, right? Soulfully profitable. I think that's an incredible lesson for y'all. Beautiful. We have 2 questions we'd like to wrap up on here. One would be advice for your past self. So I'm curious as we reflect on this journey of like, I think y'all have both done great of like actualizing the things that mean something to you and finding a way to like build community of those. I think that's a great trait to have, and one that I think in the next 20, 30, 40 years will continue to empower great growth from both of y'all. But how do we help other people with that? Yeah, what's some advice you have for your past self?
If I could go back and tell my past self something, I would say just not to take my time for granted. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that has to get done. You have school, sports, clubs, practice, games, but there's always more time. Everyone's on social media. Put it away. Save it for later. Social media won't die, but eventually you will. So use the time you have and use it wisely.
It's so much fun, but I know way too much about people that I will never meet. And yeah, you're right. I think prioritizing our own life is great. Yes. What's something that makes you happy, or something advice you have for your past self?
I would say just having fun with everything you do. Like, I don't think life is as serious as people make it out to be. You can just have fun with whatever you do and kind of just roll the punches, and everything works out in the end.
And it might not work out the way you anticipated that it will, but it will work out in some capacity. I think that's an important thing to keep in mind too. Beautiful. Last question for both of y'all, something that makes you happy. So we talked a lot about, lacrosse, the skate park, the ocean, surfing. What is something that makes you happy? Is there a place, an activity, cooking, a craft, or something? What makes you happy?
Really just helping others, kind of putting a smile on someone else's face, holding the door, pulling a chair out for them, just the small acts, everyday life. Really just kind of warms me up.
Yes, I had someone not hold a door. I can't remember what I was going to an ATM and like my card wasn't working to like scan in the door. He was like, "Oh, can I scan you in?" And it was one of those like, "Yeah, thank you." It was such a tiny gesture that for some reason I was like, "Nice guy. That's a good guy."
That's what we need more of
and
in
it
the
is
world.
those little moments that can help people and just be a little breath of fresh air to pass the good gesture on. Yeah, what about you? What makes you happy?
Absolutely. I think helping people is awesome. Like, it's a great way to, it's selfish that it makes yourself feel good, but you're also helping others. So it's a win-win. But also I'd say just getting outside in any way possible, whether like you're outside, you're in the mountains, the ocean, you're in the park, whatever, like going for a walk. I enjoy skiing, like getting out in the snow, camping, any sort of way to enjoy an outdoor activity. I'm there. That's what kind of keeps me going.
I'd argue also that like making yourself happy is making other people happy, and they're not perfectly intertwined, but oftentimes it's like if you are starting a club because it makes you happy, it's like that will give other people happiness.
Absolutely.
And I think there's not a selfishness, but a purity in that of like, let me just go make me happy and it will lift everyone else by design. So that's beautiful, guys. Thanks for taking the time to come chat. I appreciate y'all hanging out here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's great to have you all. It's been another episode of the Happiness Blueprint, friends. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to The Happiness Blueprint. Powered by GBM6. It's about making people happy.